Upon launch of Chris Jericho's highly successful podcast, Talk Is Jericho, Y2J started his podcast with a bang, when he revealed to his guest, at the time, which was Stone Cold Steve Austin, how he tried to kiss The Undertaker. What? While on the topic of The Undertaker, Jericho revealed that he, along with Taker and the rest of the boys, were on a night out during a tour in Japan, right after a house show. Jericho, who we know does like his alcohol,
drinking a few beers,
got perhaps a little too drunk in a bar in Tokyo.
Drinking a few beers.
This caused him to persevere into getting The Undertaker to kiss him on the lips. 3 hours later, Taker eventually gave in. A little. No tongue. I'm joking. And allowed Jericho to kiss him on the cheek instead. It's the kiss of Jericho. Let's make out. Man. Remember Hornswoggle? Little green leprechaun? Alan Finley? Mr. McMahon's illegitimate son? Oh, okay, we'll forget about that one. Hornswoggle was brandished as a bully by his co-workers backstage. In a Yushu interview, Brodus Clay revealed how Hornswoggle used to bully him. Brodus Clay being 6'7" and Hornswoggle being 4'6". Just goes to show you don't have to be big to be a bully. Brodus Clay told the interviewer, Hornswoggle's a bully. He is a bully. He is a verbal assassin. He picks, he judges. He's just an evil little guy. To back up his claims, Kofi Kingston recalled a story of how Hornswoggle bullied The Miz. In John Robinson's book, Rumble Road Untold Stories from Outside the Ring, Kofi talked about how Hornswoggle left The Miz at a gas station and made him walk back to his hotel room. He further added, "It's funny because Hornswoggle can't be more than 3.5 feet tall, but he bullies The Miz. He really is a bully, and there's nothing The Miz can do about it." You wonder why he was dubbed as Little Bastard. Scott Hall may have revealed a bit too much in this next confession, but nevertheless, it is quite funny once you see it. Back when Paige was actually wrestling for the WWE, she was known for sexually mounting her opponents while pinning them. This caused Scott Hall to actually tweet Paige, saying, "Such a naughty girl. I have a good mind to bend you over my knee and spank you." This tweet wasn't too well received by some of the WWE universe, as they thought his comments were pervy. However, this didn't bother Paige in the slightest, as she replied with the following message: "People are taking this way too seriously on Twitter. It's obviously a joke. Plus, I like it. Wink face. Haha." I wonder what Alberto Del Rio thought of Scott Hall's comment. Maybe he'll go on the wanted list like your boy Xavier Woods. Randy Orton is known for being a bit of a joker in the locker room. In fact, he seems to do things for a laugh even when there are no other parties around. Former WWE United States Champion Mr. Kennedy had a lot to say about Randy Orton, as he recalled a very strange story of Randy Orton grabbing his crotch. I think Orton wanted to pet Kennedy's Viper? Yeah, let's go with Viper for that sweet pun. In a Yushu interview, Mr. Kennedy explained a story of how he was alone with Orton in a car when Orton decided it was appropriate to grab Kennedy's crotch. He recalled how Orton started laughing hysterically before telling him that there was no one else in the car that found it funny. Another weird story Mr. Kennedy recalled was a time where he was alone with Randy Orton in the locker room. Orton came out of the locker room completely nude, you know, as you do, and dipped his penis into Mr. Kennedy's boot, just for his own amusement. If you thought the previous 4 confessions were strange, then you're in for a treat for this next confession. In an infamous U-Shoot interview, Teddy Long revealed that wrestlers Mick Foley and Ron Simmons were his travel buddies during his WCW days as a referee. During their trips on the road, the trio succeeded in picking up a few women to bring back to their hotel rooms. However, what followed was a bit on the weird side if you ask me. While Foley had a girl on the bed, then Simmons had another girl on a different bed, Foley reached out to grab Simmons' hand. Two of them basically held hands while having sex.
Damn!
Foley's reasoning was simply that he needed Simmons' support. I'm assuming emotional support rather than physical. I guess it was a mixed tag team match?
Holla, holla. You feeling that?
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please show your support by leaving a like and sharing this video, as it really does help us a lot. Don't forget to comment below too, and we will pin up the best comment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video from us. Lastly, for daily wrestling facts and more, follow all of our social media accounts, which are on screen and in the description. Thanks, and until the next video.